just an equal plate. Like,
well, it just sounds like you were compromised. Look, a good example of that was Petr Yan in his first fight with Merab.
Man, he looked great this weekend.
Fuck! What a masterclass.
He looked great. I was so surprised.
When you're going to fight a guy like Merab, like, that is the masterclass.
For
like,
sure.
You put on a clinic.
I didn't think he was going to be able to do that for 5 rounds. I thought he'd have one, maybe max 2, and I thought Merab was just going to do what Merab does. I was so wrong.
Bro, his training camp must have been hell.
Had to.
Had to be hell.
Had to.
I mean, he must have done some. I mean, it looked like it. I saw some videos of it. It looked like he was doing some wild strength and conditioning and plyometrics, and he knew what he was in for. That's the thing. If you're going to fight a guy like Merab, it's like, you know what the mountain is. You ready to climb it?
For sure.
And the first time they fought, apparently he had a fucked up right hand.
That's what I heard.
He couldn't grapple with it, and he couldn't throw punches with it. So I rewatched the fight after he said that. I was like, oh, he's barely using it. Like, barely using his right hand.
Made sense, right?
Totally makes sense. And then also psychologically, if you only got one hand, that everything, now you have to think.
Right.
You know, you can't really throw combinations. You have to
grab.
think.
You actually set a record. The most takedowns Merab had ever surrendered was 2, and you landed 5 successfully. How's that feel?
5?
5.
Боксеры умеют это делать.
Boxers also know how to take people down.
There we go. We'd love to see it. We definitely saw it tonight.
The rematch between Petr Yan and Merab Dvalishvili is barely off the books, and the breakdowns are already hitting full speed. Analysts are pulling apart the key moments, spotlighting what clicked for Yan and where Merab's game plan unraveled. With every replay sharpening the story, the narrative is shifting toward how Petr sees control and why Merab couldn't turn it back his way. Let's break it down.
Round 1, Merab versus Petr. We're getting wild. Oh, Petr cracked Merab with a 3-2 down the pipe. Woo-wee. I think it's 1-0 Yan. Yan with a nice leg kick. Oh, Petr Yan with the double leg. Petr Yan puts Merab on his back. This is an interesting round. Oh, Petr lands a huge right hand. 12 seconds left in the second round. 2-0 Petr, we're calling it. Oh! Petr just picked up Merab and dropped him on his head. Holy shit, Petr looks good. Oh! Petr just kicks Merab in the belly. Oh my God, I've done this to him before. If he finishes it with a body shot, I basically did too. It might just be 3-0 Petr. Wow, Petr cracks Merab on top of his dumb head. Oh, he's wobbly. He's wobbly. He's gonna finish him. He's gonna get him out of there. Oh, he hit him with a liver shot. And Merab's just saying, I gotta go now. Merab needs a finish going into the 5th round. It is 4-0 Petr Yan right now. Holy shit, liberally. Oh, another liver shot. Minute 8, Merab bouncing around like he's on a trampoline and he's not. Merab's screaming in there going, ah! Petr shoots again just to stamp it. Oh, he fucking dumps him. 10 seconds left in front of Hunter. I gotta text him. I'm texting Hunter. Bro, Petr Yan, that was one of the most impressive performances I've ever seen. Imagine they give Merab a decision. If they give it to Merab, I quit. I quit fighting. Holy shit, Petr Yan got the job done. Wow. Tweet, song, you're out. Petr, you're next.
Joe Rogan couldn't hide how blown away he was by Yan's turnaround in the rematch. He kept coming back to how flawless Petr looked, almost like he'd built his entire camp around surviving the non-stop grind that Merab brings. Rogan pointed out that in the first fight, Yan's busted right hand had him basically competing one-armed, which explains why his output and grappling looked muted, but this time, it was a different story entirely. The clips from camp, the insane conditioning work, the mentality of facing a guy who never stops, Rogan said it all added up to a performance that shocked even him.
Surprised.
When you're going to fight a guy like Merab, like, that is the masterclass. Like,
sure.
You put on a clinic.
I didn't think he was going to be able to do that for 5 rounds. I thought he'd have one, maybe max 2, and I thought Merab was just going to do what Merab does. I was so wrong.
Bro, his training camp must have been hell.
Had to.
Had to be hell.
Had to.
I mean, he must have done some. I mean, it looked like it. I saw some videos of it. It looked like he was doing some wild strength and conditioning and plyometrics, and he knew what he was in for. That's the thing. If you're going to fight a guy like Merab, it's like, you know what the mountain is. You ready to climb it?
For sure.
And the first time they fought, apparently he had a fucked up right hand.
That's what I heard.
He couldn't grapple with it, and he couldn't throw punches with it. So I rewatched the fight after he said that. I was like, oh, he's barely using it. Like, barely using his right hand.
Made sense, right?
Totally makes sense. And then also psychologically, if you only got one hand, that everything, now you have to think.
Right.
You know, you can't really throw combinations. You have to
grab.
think.
On the other hand, Michael Bisping suggested Merab's insane schedule finally caught up with him, saying 4 title fights in a year will wear down even the toughest athlete. But he stressed that Jan's win was earned, not gifted. Petr looked razor sharp with clean jabs, heavy rights, stuffing takedowns, springing back up when he hit the mat, and landing that body kick that clearly hurt Merab. To Bisping, it was a polished, disciplined showing from start to finish.
Petr Yan was victorious. Merab Dvalishvili was trying to defend the belt for 4 times in a calendar year, which is crazy. It's incredible. But I did say a while ago that maybe he might be his own worst enemy, because you have to respect the process. You have to respect how arduous this is on your body, okay? Going through the training camps and the fights and doing it so quickly, okay? It comes at a cost. Now, don't get it twisted. I am not taking away from Petr Yan's victory. Petr Yan was brilliant. He was clinical. He was precise. He picked him apart. He landed shots. He hurt him. He stopped takedowns. He got takedowns of his own. When he was taken down, he got straight back to his feet. And the shots that he landed, they were beautiful. He picked them. They were deadly. Boom, right hands. The jabs were money. The body kicks. Holy shit. At one point, he kicks him in the body, and Merab's like, ah! Visually and audibly hurt, okay? Screaming in pain. Yan saw that, went back to the body.
And Chael Sonnen took that analysis even further. He pointed out that Yan didn't just look sharp, he showed insane defensive awareness, stuffing a mountain of takedown attempts. Chael said numbers like that prove Petr isn't just capable, he's elite in those scrambles. What fascinated him was trying to decode Yan's actual blueprint. The performance showed counter wrestling, moments of offense, steady forward pressure, and a stripped down striking game built on simple, clean jabs and crosses. But Chael argued Yan wasn't trying to be 5 fighters at once. He committed to 1 or 2 core ideas and answered every shot with the same reliable weapon, that tight right side underhook that kept him upright all night.
That Petr Yan defended 38 of them. That's pretty impressive. Like, you can't act like a guy doesn't know how to defend a shot if he just defended 38 shots. And then to be able to scramble it from the bottom. Guys, I don't know what his strategy was tonight. If I could talk to Petr Yan right now, I'd just ask him one question. Hey, what was your game plan? And I'd be very curious what he says. Because from an X's and O's, we saw a counter wrestling game. But we also saw an offensive wrestling game. And then we saw a very disciplined and basic stand-up game. Largely jabs and crosses, dip to the body, come back upstairs. Not a lot of stuff in massive combination. Not a lot of kicks. But then we also saw Yan walking him down. And only one of those had to be his strategy. Only one of those had to be his game plan. I can assure you, while Yan did all of those things well, he did not have a game plan to go out and do 5 different things to Merab. He committed to 1 and maybe 2. So now you're talking about, okay, walk him down. Every defense of every shot tonight was the same. It was that right side underhook.
However, Tim Welch added the technical layer, showing how Yan beat Merab with pure fundamentals and elite conditioning. He broke down how Yan kept stuffing those signature head-inside singles with steady balance, tight whizzers, and quick limp legs, and how the numbers, way fewer takedowns allowed than the first fight, proved the work he put in. Even when Merab got to his strongest high crotch and back lock positions, Yan stayed low, peeled the hands, and refused to give him the leverage he usually crushes people with. For Tim, it was a textbook display of disciplined basics done perfectly.
First of all, Petr Yan was in great shape. There wasn't really anything fancy he was doing. To beat Merab, you have to be able to wrestle hard for 25 minutes, and that's what Petr Yan did. He was doing basic takedown defense. Merab was shooting head inside single like he always does. As soon as he shot head inside single, boom. Petr Yan would be keeping his heel to his butt. He'd be keeping a collar tie or a whizzer and had great balance. A lot of times, Merab would take his head outside, Petr Yan would have perfect balance here too. He'd be blocking his bicep, blocking his head, sitting really low, and then limp legging out a few times. So in their first fight, Yan got shot on 49 times. Merab shot on him 49 times, took him down 11 times. In this fight, Merab shot on him 28 times and only took him down twice. That just proves the hard work Petr Yan was doing. Another thing, where Merab likes to go, he goes high crotch, goes to the back, locks his hands. This is one of Merab's strongest, best positions. And Petr Yan did an absolute great job on fighting the hands so hard. You can tell they worked on it a lot. Merab squeezes you so tight, he doesn't give you the option to do a switch, or he squeezes you so tight, he doesn't give you the option to do a Granby. So Petr Yan was just sitting his butt real low and attacking the top wrist.
Even Merab's coach, John Wood, weighed in with a clear, thoughtful take. Watching from the corner, he initially thought Merab was the busier fighter, pressing the action, but reviewing it later made it clear that Yan landed the bigger, fight-defining moments, the strikes that drew reactions, opened cuts, and did the real damage. Wood admitted it's tricky in the moment to judge the fight accurately, and while many disagreed with the official scoring, he acknowledged it's a lesson in staying objective and making sure split-second perceptions don't cloud judgment in future corners.
Yeah, obviously, you know, looking in the corner, I've always been pretty good at you know, kind of judging how the fight's going, and that's something I'm interested to see if you know what happened there. I thought that, and I will go on and say, I thought that Merab was the busier, doing more pressing, but looking at it now, Petr had the bigger moments. He was landing the bigger strikes, getting the bigger reactions, and you know, doing the damage. The bleed, you know, there was the blood always plays into a lot of stuff, and you don't know how that's going to go. But you know, from everything that you know that I've said, a lot of people thought you know that was the wrong call. And in the moment, you know, again, I think we all thought that we were pressing the action. You know, that's something I got to go back and look at. And something, if I, you know, like I said, if I made a mistake, then it's something I definitely need to fix in making sure that doesn't happen. And I'm looking.
Building on that, Israel Adesanya highlighted the bigger picture of Merab's pace and schedule. He praised the momentum Merab carries, taking on fight after fight, but noted how that relentless activity inevitably wears on the body, especially with training, media, and past injuries in the mix. Adesanya also reminded everyone that Yan isn't an easy opponent, with top-tier skills both standing and on the mat. While a rematch is likely next year, he emphasized just how much Merab has already achieved despite the toll it takes.
Merab, I love momentum, and I love a guy who goes for something. He was just like, no, I'll fight this guy. Next, I'll fight this guy. I'll fight this guy. I don't think people will turn to Merab now, but even those who do, you have to realize what it's giving you. Classic after classic after classic, and then you just know the body can't handle all that. Even the guy he's beat already, he just probably felt like, I'll beat this guy again. But when you have that kind of activity, it's not until you're a champ and you're doing it multiple times in a row with the media, with the training, with the injuries, that you realize the toll on your body. And we could see it, but also Petr Yan's no joke. Good skills, stand up and wrestling wise. So I know they will have one more fight next year, but till then.
Moreover, Demetrius Johnson broke down Yan's composure under fire, pointing out that even when he took some heavy shots, he never overreacted or lost his focus. While Merab absorbed some of the biggest counters, Yan kept pressing forward, calmly trading and reading the exchanges. Johnson highlighted how this level-headedness, combined with sharp combinations and the ability to exploit openings like consistently targeting the body in exchanges, made Yan so difficult to challenge. He suggested that if the two meet again, these strategic details will likely play a major role in how Yan approaches the fight.
And Petr Yan got hit with some big bombs too. But it was Merab taking the worst of the exchanges and Petr Yan just getting right back on Merab. And right here, look at this shot. No overreaction. Petr Yan's allowing that shot to land as Merab's super close. No pull away, just right there looking down the middle saying, bring it. I'm not getting in a jacuzzi with you and all those dudes. Not happening. Okay, once again, another exchanges from Merab and Petr Yan going back and forth. But that shot's open right there. Like, I think if they fight again, I think Petr Yan and their team are gonna be like, hey, we're gonna exchange with them. Every time you get on exchange, just throw a body kick. Whether he eats it,
Then Sean O'Malley jumped in with pure excitement, praising Merab's all-in approach. He said it looked like Merab gave everything each time he tried to finish Yan, relentlessly hunting openings whenever he sensed an advantage. To O'Malley, it wasn't just a great fight, it was one of the best bantamweight bouts ever. A high-stakes, edge-of-your-seat battle that was an absolute thrill to watch. However, MMA Guru emphasized just how different a fully healthy Yan looked this time. With both hands intact, Petr shut down takedowns and repeatedly hammered Merab's forearms in body lock positions, steadily sapping his strength and grip. Guru called it a brilliant, calculated approach, one that gradually wore Merab down and showcased Yan's dominance, turning the rematch into a masterclass of strategy and execution. Max Holloway also highlighted just how punishing Yan's forearm attacks were. He marveled at how Petr dismantled an opponent many saw as unbeatable, noting that those repeated elbows clearly wore down Merab's grip so much that by the end of the first round, Merab was visibly rubbing his arms in pain. For Holloway, it was a perfect example of how Yan's precise, calculated tactics made a huge impact in the fight. Furthermore, Robert Whitaker admitted he felt for Merab, but he was in awe of Yan's performance. He noted that the fight unfolded almost exactly as a perfect blueprint might dictate, a rare level of precision in MMA. Yan displayed complete command across wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and striking, seamlessly blending them into a relentless, high-level performance. Whitaker called it the most refined and clinical version of Yan he'd ever seen, one that never let Merab gain a foothold and clearly set him apart from the rest of the division. Whitaker continued, reflecting on just how impressive Yan was late in the fight. He said that while Merab is dangerous when he finds his rhythm, Yan stayed composed and consistent throughout, picking his shots and landing meaningful damage without letting up. He matched Merab's pace, stuffed every takedown, and maintained the same high-level output deep into the later rounds, something few fighters could pull off. Every strike and engagement was calculated, forcing Merab to pay for every move and highlighting Yan's control, endurance, and fight IQ at the highest level. And then Peyton Talbot added a broader perspective on the fight, noting that even a champion like Yan can never afford to get too comfortable. He pointed out that both fighters looked virtually unstoppable in the octagon, combining skill, power, and endurance at a level few others could match. Talbot emphasized that no matter how dominant a champion appears, there's always someone clawing their way up, ready to challenge the top, and tonight, the way Yan and Merab performed showed why both would likely give anyone else in the division a serious fight. So what's your take? Did Petr Yan earn this win the hard way, or was it just a lucky night? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more fight breakdowns and insights.